Hey there. Now, especially if you've switched from Windows, a few Mac settings can make life harder than it needs to be. Now, even after 11 years, I still change these on every new Mac I use. Here are 9 hidden settings, including one exclusive to Golden Gate, you should change first to make your life easier. First, let's talk about the right click. Now, whether we are copying, pasting, or opening additional options, using a two-finger tap on the trackpad can be, honestly, a bit annoying and inconsistent. So why not enable a proper right click? For that, let's open Settings, scroll down to Trackpad. At the right-hand side, click on the secondary click additional options and just set it to the click in bottom right corner option. Just like that, you've got a proper right click. Now let's talk about the scroll bars. Now on many of the Macs, defaultly, they just keep appearing and disappearing unless you scroll with your trackpad. But if you prefer, like me, just dragging the navigation bar to go up and down, this might be pretty frustrating. So you can make them stay visible all the time. Just go to Settings, then just a bit lower to Appearance, navigate yourself to the right-hand side options, and under Show Scroll Bars, select Always. The scroll bars will appear instantly. And now you can just grab them, drag up and down to scroll up and down. Now, most of us know about these 3 traffic lights on Mac. The annoying part is that every time, if you want to maximize or restore a window, you have to aim for that little green button. If you're constantly switching between these windows, this can be pretty frustrating. Instead, what you can do is just go to Settings, scroll down to Desktop and Dock, and under Window Title Bar double-click action, just select Zoom. And from now on, you can simply double-click at the window title bar to zoom and unzoom it, much closer to how Windows work. Speaking of windows, are you still dragging them by clicking and holding your trackpad? There is a much easier way. Just go to Settings, scroll down to Accessibility. At the right-hand side, keep scrolling down till you find Pointer Control, and then open this Trackpad Options. First, make sure Use Trackpad for Dragging is turned on, and then the dragging style will be clickable. Select it, and from here, make sure to select 3-finger drag. And from now on, you can use your 3 fingers just like this on your trackpad, swipe them, and just move the windows effortlessly. Another thing that catches a lot of, Windows users off guard, Mac doesn't have a dedicated Backspace key. The delete key only deletes characters before the cursor. But if you need to delete the character after the cursor, there is a shortcut. Just place the cursor when you want to delete, and then hold down this function key and keep pressing the delete button. And that would work just like a backspace. Now, similarly, one of my editors once told me, hey, I love Mac and all, but where's the cut option? Now, you already know that you can copy a file with Command C and paste it with Command V anywhere. But the original file never moves. Now, dragging kind of works, but for me, it's easy to accidentally open files or select the wrong ones. Instead, what you can do is just select the file, press Command C, and at the destination while pasting it, just press Option Command V. That's all. The file will be moved, cut, and pasted instead of just copied. Number 7 fixes a long-standing annoyance. Safari lets you save images directly on your Photos library, but Chrome doesn't. Every image gets downloaded first, and then you might have to just import it manually. Now, if you're a regular Chrome user, here's how to automate the whole thing. Now, this may look tricky at first, but just stay here and look carefully. You'll be good to go in a moment. Now, first, you're going to create a new album in the Photos app. You can name it something like Downloaded Photos or Web Photos, whatever. Now, I'll call mine Web Download, so it's easier to find later. Now, on your Mac, open Ask and Search, and simply search for automation. And from this pop-up window, select Folder Action and click Choose. Now, on the right-hand side, select Choose Folder and then go to Others. You'll be redirected to your Mac's internal storages. Just select Download from here and then hit Choose. Now, in the search bar on the left, search for Photos. A bunch of photo-related options will appear. All you're going to do, just find out Import Files into Photos option and drag it into this empty workspace. Now, after that, click on the options, and from these options, just select Add to Existing Top-Level Album. Now, in the second menu, make sure the album you have created on your Photos app is selected. Now, let's get back to the left-hand side and search for Finder. From these results, select Move Finder Items to Trash and drag it into the workspace. You're almost done. Now, just press Command S to save it. And after that, you're going to give the folder action a recognizable name. And lastly, press Enter, then click Allow. That's it. Trust me. Now, the first time you download an image or video on Chrome, macOS will ask for automation permission. Allow it once or maybe a couple of times. And from now on, every future download from Chrome will automatically appear in your Photos library. Now, since we're talking about browsers, let's move over to Safari. Now, if you work with multiple tabs or, confidential, sensitive websites, every time you reopen, Safari will show up with all those windows. Doesn't matter if you quit or force quit it. Now, this can be helpful, don't get me wrong, but in public, it can also be a little awkward or might harm your privacy. Now, to stop that, make sure Safari is opened, click on the Safari tab, go to Settings. From there, go to the General tab, and then right under the Safari Open Suite option, choose a new window. From now on, every time you reopen Safari, it'll start with a fresh window. Now, the ninth and final tip is for macOS 27 Golden Gate. Now, I'm going to just open a screen recording that I took for this video to show you right now in QuickTime Player. As you can see, the recording has picked up all the background audio, including my voice. And QuickTime automatically generated a subtitles. Now, I usually leave my microphone on so I can give instruction to my editors. So turning the mic off is not really an option. So if you're running into the same thing, while QuickTime Player is opened, just click on the View tab, go to Subtitles, and just go ahead and turn them off. So what do you think? Do you know any other hidden Mac settings that solve everyday annoyances? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for your time.